What's up, everybody? My name is Graham Elwood. You are watching the Political Vigilante. Great way to support the show is go to the patreon.com, guys. The link is below. You can support the channel for as little as $2 a month. For $5 a month, you get to submit an article like Eric Husso did. Eric, thank you so much for supporting the show. Here is a great article. Now, it came out several years ago while Obama was in office, but it's still very pertinent today. Sorry, Democrats, your NRA is spelled AIPAC. So this was, actually this came out in 2017, but this is MJ Rosenberg, contributor. He worked on Capitol Hill for Democratic senators and House members for over 20 years. And it's really, we're going to get into it, but what the article says is, we always talk about, on the left, that we can't have real gun control because the NRA owns the Republicans. They have bought and paid all the Republicans, and that's why none of them will budge on any real gun reform that 70% of the country wants. 70% of the country wants gun reform. 70%. Well, AIPAC has a stranglehold on the Democrats. Now, they are a lobbying group for Israel. I'm not being racist or anti-Semitic. That's who they are. They are a pro-Israel lobby. There's all kinds of lobbying groups. That's what they are. So making this video and putting this up there, this article written by a Jewish guy who worked on Capitol Hill, knows full well how it operates, does not make me anti-Semitic. I've said I always have to prelude with like being critical of a lobby organization. We always talk about let's get the money out of politics. Well, this is one of the lobby organizations we need to get out of politics, just like the NRA, just like the medical lobby, big pharmaceutical companies, the oil lobby. It's the same thing. This doesn't mean I want ISIS and Hamas to steamroll through Tel Aviv. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. It means I want to stop seeing all of this war happen. And Palestinians are human beings. And I'm not alone in this. There's ex-Israeli soldiers that have come forward and said, this ain't right. The way I was trained to treat the Palestinians, the way I was taught isn't right. We need to do something about it. A lot of it comes from AIPAC. Leading gun control Democrats like Senator Richard Blumenthal, Democrat from Connecticut, rightly understand that, in his words, we must break the grip of the NRA if we are ever going to see congressional action on guns. He's absolutely correct. The NRA isn't about gun rights. 30, 40 years ago, the NRA was about conservation and hunting laws and, responsible gun ownership, responsible hunting, don't overhunt, it was about protecting the environment. Did you know that? The NRA was about protecting the environment. And now, gun manufacturers sit on all of the board of the NRA. It's just to protect their billion-dollar industry. Meanwhile, Blumenthal and most of his Democratic colleagues in both houses are in the grip of a foreign policy lobby as powerful as the NRA, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, or AIPAC. Republicans who come to their militant support for Israeli policies instinctively don't warrant AIPAC arm twisting, but Democrats, invariably dovish on all foreign policy issues except Israel, certainly do. His words. Having worked in the House and Senate for 20 years, I saw all of AIPAC's tactics firsthand. I also worked at AIPAC itself, where, in the very office in which I sat, I watched my colleagues working hard and effectively to end the careers of politicians who deviated from the AIPAC line. In the interest of honesty, I should admit that I had no problems with AIPAC when I worked there. Good for him for being honest. It was only years later, while working on Capitol Hill, that I came to understand that the policy of undeviating support for Israel government was not an American interest, and that AIPAC sustained that support through rather scary intimidation. I don't know if the human race is really going to figure it out. I don't know. It might be time to punch out. It's hard to say. After all, most Democrats are not subject to unrelenting pressure from the lobbies and donors who oppose their positions on equal rights, guns, climate change, choice, etc. And even if they did, they almost always come from states or districts where the progressive position dominates. Sure, it's what lobbyists do. Environmental lobbies lobby, but that's for a good thing. You know, the women's right to choose. But this is, people are starting to wake up a little bit to this. So that Congresswoman Ilhan from Minnesota, she made that statement that it's all about the Benjamins, and then she just retracted on that statement saying it was offensive. But it really is, it's actually a good thing what she's done. She's getting people talking. Just like that, she drilled that guy, that war profiteer, Elliot, whatever. So here's what Katie Halper had to say. Katie Halper, big Bernie supporter. I follow Katie Halper on Twitter, and this is what she said. Jews like me are tired of AIPAC claiming to speak for all Jews and conflating Jewish identity with unquestioning support of Israel, which is an anti-Semitic trope. Me telling Fox that criticism of Israel isn't anti-Semitism and that Ilhan's critics are anti-Semites and Islamophobes. She did this February 13th. Katie Halper. Listen to her show. But here's what's even better. I got a clip from this. This is fantastic.
There are plenty of Muslim states. There are plenty of Arab states. There wasn't a state for Jews to be able to call their own. And by the way, it's there. It's there. And by the way, it's there, and it's their land. So I think it's awfully important. And people shade this into this question about the only reason why people are standing up for the state of Israel is because of, quote, the Benjamins. And I'm Christian, but I'm offended about that because they're a democracy, an important part of the world. They're a strategic ally to the United States. We don't have to agree with absolutely every decision their government makes, but it is wrong to attack them as a people.
Well, no one attacked them as a people, luckily.
I just saw that tweet.
AIPAC. I'm a Jew. I'm a person. No one attacked me because I don't support AIPAC. Millions of Jews don't support AIPAC, and that's why there are all these alternatives.
But this is the problem.
Because Jews like me are really tired of having AIPAC, which is a very small but very powerful elite minority representation of Jews. It's very tiresome to have them claim to speak for all Jews and conflate Jewish identity with unquestioning support of Israel, which is an anti-Semitic trope in itself.
Let's just say this, Lord. This is the big dynamic.
It would be nice if Donald Trump had actually condemned the people in Charlottesville. And you, Matt, you work in this communications,
if I could please just answer. This is the dynamic. Let's stay on
Okay,
one
guys, I got to tell you. Guys, stop. Jews in this statement. That's anti-Semitism.
I love having a spirited debate. And Katie, I actually love that you came on the show. I like hearing your point of view. I really do. It's really hard for the viewers to get what either of you are saying when we're talking over each other. And I mean, other than interrupting you, I don't know how to get it. But I think I got the point from both of you, and I really appreciate the fact that you both came on. We'll be covering this. We want to try to be fair about it. The left, by the way, has...
Right on for Katie Halper for talking about this. It's good that what's starting to happen, and I'm starting to gain hope from this, and it was really, part of it was that conversation I had with Tim Black about more people are waking up to this. More people are not afraid to say, wait a minute, AIPAC ain't right. Israel has a right to be free and not be attacked, and they're an ally in the region, but they don't have a right to just they just do all these dangerous smear tactics. Anybody's critical of Israel at all, anti-Semite. They're just automatically caused. And I'm so sick of that. I'm so sick of that crap. The Israeli government has the right to be critical of how it conducts itself, just like the American government does. Every government should, right? And Palestinians are human beings, right? And when they just go and they're unarmed and they get shot, unarmed Palestinians get shot by Israeli soldiers, that's not right. Or they throw a rock and so then they get shot. That's not right. So hats off for Katie Halper for speaking publicly about that and about Iman, that congresswoman. Good for her. She's really stirring it up. That's what I want to see. Because it's really, pulling the wool off the eyes of America, really waking up to stuff. It's a good thing. We're seeing the powerful of all types getting, I'm about calling out abuses of power. That's what I'm about. And calling out an abuse of power doesn't mean I hate this group or that group, or I'm sexist or racist or whatever. That's such a just weak bullshit excuse. Thanks for watching the show, you guys. Go to patreon.com so you can submit cool articles like this for me to cover and cool subjects like this to get it out there so people are not. It's hard to get a fair shake. As you saw Katie Halper get they tried to steamroll her and she kicked their ass, which was great. That's cable news. That's Fox. MSNBC and CNN do the same version, different versions, but the same kind of nonsense. That's why you get your news here. Headlining in Chicago, February 21st through March 2nd, St. Charles, downtown, and Rosemont. And then Ron Placone and I are going to the Gulf States March 10th through the 13th. Oxford, Mississippi, Lafayette, Louisiana, Pensacola, and New Orleans, the 10th through the 13th of March. April, we are going to Texas. May, we're going to Salt Lake City and Boise. Go to GrahamElwood.com. Come out to one of the shows. Thank you so much for watching.